Hello, in this video, we will be talking about what does a balance sheet tells you. Let us understand this with the help of an example. During our school or college days, we gave our yearly examination. After that, we used to get our report card, which was a reflection of how we have studied the entire year. We can consider this report card as a balance sheet, which showed us what we did throughout the year. So a balance sheet in financial terms shows us what a company owns as an asset and what it owes to its lenders as a liability at a particular period of time. Suppose we own a piece of land. This forms part of our assets, and any kind of loan that we take to fund this land will form part of our liability. Let us understand this further. A balance sheet has two major categories, assets and liabilities. Now, assets are of two types, non-current assets and current assets. Non-current assets helps the company to generate revenue and are meant to be owned by the company for long term. For example, machinery, building, land, long-term investments, etc. Current assets, on the other hand, are those which can be converted into cash in a shorter span of time, generally say for 1 year or a business cycle. For example, inventories, short-term investments into stocks, bonds or cash at bank. Similarly, liabilities are divided into non-current liabilities and current liabilities. Non-current liabilities represents that part which the company repays to its lenders after 1 year or more. For example, secured loans, long-term borrowings, etc. On the other hand, current liabilities represent that part of money which the company has to repay within a period of 1 year. For example, short-term borrowings, trade payables, etc. Now coming to the next section of this video. What do all these things tells us about the company and how do we evaluate a balance sheet for investment decisions? If non-current assets increases, then that means that the company is creating more assets for itself, which can be used by the company over a longer period of time, which means the growth looks good for the company, and that is the reason the company is increasing its asset size. Now, if the current assets are increasing, like inventories, which is unfinished or finished goods, then that is a cause for concern, as that means that the company is not being able to sell its goods or is facing tough competition. If trade receivables increases, then that means that the company is unable to make any cash sales and therefore the debtors are increasing, which will eventually lead to stress in the company's liquidity. Similarly, if non-current liabilities increase, then we need to check whether the company actually needs the funds for its business or not, and what is the status of debt-equity ratio. Next is, we also need to check whether there can be any adverse effect in the company's profit with the increase in the long-term loans. Similarly, if current liabilities like trade payables increases, then that means that the company may have some liquidity issues because of which it is unable to pay its creditors. Now, why do we even need to keep such records? Well, firstly, this helps us to get a snapshot of what a company owns and what it owes. It also helps the owners of the business to get an idea of the financial position of the company, which would help them to take vital decisions. So in this video, we learned that balance sheet is simply a report card of a company which shows us the financial health. Based on this, a shareholder will be able to decide whether or not the company's financial position is strong and whether they should invest in that company or not. Thank you for watching the video.
Investment in the securities market are subject to market risks. Read all the related documents carefully before investing. Such representations are not indicative of future results.